Hey MVPs, I'm actually going to make this video free. If you guys know the deal, I'm doing win totals for every single team in the Power 5. I'm telling you how many games each team's going to win next season. With that, the group of 5 teams are now coming out. And they just put this out here. Brett McMurphy, I can't stand this dude, but they have the Action Network headquarters app, and they're telling you the win totals for teams going into next season. And they did the entire Mountain West. So I'm going to do this video for free. Now, for those of you who know, MVPs out there, you guys know I deep dive this. And I go into each team, talk about their coaching staff, every single position group, who's on the bench, who's in the recruiting class, who's in the transfer portal. The way I break down those teams and do it for the Power 5, I don't have enough time to do that for the group of 5. So I'm just going to tell you some of the sure bets I like in each conference and then talk about them aloud. Okay? So first and foremost, when I look at these win totals, one that sticks out to me is Colorado State. Colorado State here opens this season. They have it at 6.5. They open the season at Texas, a loss. But then they play Northern Colorado, a definite win. A Colorado game at home, it's going to be a lot closer than people think, just like it was last year. But we'll see who wins that game. Playing a revamped UTEP team, I'm going to tell you that Colorado State's offense is loaded. And they're going to score a ton of points next season. BFN, Braden Fowler Nicolosi, their starting quarterback. It'll be his second starting year. Bringing back Torrey Horton, a receiver no one can cover, NFL caliber. He would have been drafted if he was in the draft this year. Came back for his final year, and he's going to be a baller. And he's going to be a problem. They have other receivers that they've added this offseason. They look loaded. The only thing they really lost on defense was Kamara, defensive end, an edge rusher, a guy who's a sack artist, but their secondary returns, all their players are there. And they just got key pieces, man. I really like where their offense is headed. I believe they probably have the number 2 offense in all of the Mountain West. So for me, I think they beat UTEP. So I think they actually get 2 wins here, have 2 losses at worst. They look poised to beat Oregon State. I'm going to talk to you guys about why I feel that way. They look poised to beat Oregon State, beating San Jose State. Everybody's going to beat Air Force next year. Air Force doesn't look good. New Mexico and Nevada, 2 of the worst teams in America. They're going to beat those teams. Got 2 weeks to prepare for Wyoming. I like their chances, especially at home. If you're playing at Wyoming, it's scary. But if you're playing at your place, you're okay. Wyoming's a different team on the road. At Fresno State doesn't look good, and that's going to be a tough game against Utah State. Either way, I think 7 wins are very possible here. I like the over on this, okay? I'm going to show you guys a chart. And this chart might not mean anything to many of you if you don't know. This is the returning production chart. Now, it's not accurate to a T. The guy who makes this chart doesn't really have a rhyme or reason to some of his stats. I'm going to tell you, if there was an FCS transfer, he added half their stats, not the full amount. So you're only getting half a percentage for that. There's no easy way to solve this problem. But what I can tell you is when I look at this chart, the teams at the top of the chart tend to perform better in the upcoming year versus the teams at the bottom of the chart. If you were to look at this chart from 2023, all the teams at the top were very successful in their upcoming season. Now, yes, if you lost a quarterback, if there's a transfer, it's probably not going to matter. But if you're looking at the very top, teams like Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, we expect a lot out of them because they're returning a majority of their production. I don't expect much out of Rice because they lost JT Daniels, but they do have their starting running back coming back, their receivers coming back, and you have a lot of pieces returning. So when you see Hawaii in the top 10, that's a big deal, okay? I really value Hawaii, but if you look down here at the bottom, these teams are about to fall off a cliff. We're talking about 2 national championship teams. They're not going to be back in the title game, obviously. They're not going to be nearly as good as they were. San Jose State losing all their talented players to Arizona, same thing. Ohio lost a ton. They lost their starting quarterback, starting running back, starting wide receiver, starting linebackers. EJ left Temple. EJ Warner, Kurt Warner's son, he's gone. Troy lost everybody, leading rusher, leading quarterback, leading receivers, leading tacklers, head coach. Troy lost everybody. They're going to fall off a cliff. Oregon State lost everyone. I expect them to fall off a cliff, and there's Air Force, a lot to graduation. So I don't really pay attention to the middle of the chart at all. I put a lot of value in the bottom of the chart. These teams are going to be terrible in comparison to what they were. Shout out to Toledo, New Mexico State, New Mexico, Southern Mid. They're going to be terrible. But a lot of these teams will be good up top, or at least they'll be the best version of themselves. They'll be improved from where they were last year. That's the whole emphasis here, and that's kind of the trend. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win national titles. I'm not saying they're going to win the whole conference. It's just going to be a better product on the field because of the continuity and what they're returning. And I'm telling you, the one team on here that they're not giving any love to is Colorado State. But when you look at their offense and what they're returning, they're real. They're just not returning their starting running back. But they got receivers for days, and they're going to throw the rock. I like Colorado State to win those games. Now, Hawaii. Ton of offensive production returning, and they have a great schedule. If you go back and look at this chart, Hawaii, they're saying they need to win 4.5 games. That means, do you believe Timmy Chang can get these guys to win 5 games? I'm telling you, 5 games looks very doable. Delaware State, one of the worst teams in all of America at the FCS level, absolutely terrible. And it's week 0. They got to fly all the way to Hawaii. Not good for them. They're not going to beat UCLA, but they have 2 weeks to prepare for Sam Houston. That is a very winnable game. At worst, they will be 2-2 after these games. 2 weeks to prepare for San Diego State, essentially a rival in conference. Going to lose to Boise. Going to lose to Washington State. They will beat Nevada. Schrader, their quarterback coming back, he's good. They're going to beat Nevada. Nevada's bad, okay? At Fresno State, I don't like it. I don't like it. Doesn't look good, and they're going to beat New Mexico. So 1, 2, 3, 4 obvious wins. 4 they can't miss. New Mexico, Nevada, Northern Iowa, Delaware State. They can't lose those. Those 4 are their wins. They need 1 more. They got to beat Sam Houston, San Diego State, who's going to be terrible, by the way. Sam Houston, San Diego State, Utah State. All these teams lost a ton of production. I feel like they can get that 5th win. That feels like another over you should be betting in the Mountain West. Then you're looking at Air Force. They look terrible. They lost everybody. They lost everything. Air Force is falling apart. I actually don't even believe in their coaching staff. That's another conversation for another day. But they're playing Merrimack. I think they beat San Jose State. I think they do. So that's 2 wins. Not beating Baylor. Not beating Wyoming. Not beating Navy. Nope. I got Navy beating them. So they're going to beat New Mexico. Not beating Colorado State. Right now I have them at 3 wins at that point. They might lose to Army again, especially on the road, right? So they might lose to Army. But at 3 wins, I don't see them getting here. 4 wins. I got 4, possibly 5 wins. You need to get to 6. I don't see it. I don't see it. I see Air Force getting stuck at 5 wins. And then the last one, this is the most sure bet in the conference for me, Nevada. They say Nevada's going to get to 2.5 wins, meaning you got to find 3 wins on Nevada's schedule. I don't see the 3 wins on Nevada's schedule. They scheduled SMU, Troy, and Georgia Southern out of conference, and Minnesota. Like, all those are losses, so they're 0-4 right now. They're going to beat Eastern Washington theoretically, so there's a win. Then they got 2 weeks to prepare for San Jose State. Don't see it. No, 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 no. 2 weeks to prepare for Air Force. No, and no. They don't win another game. I think they win 1 game next year. I think they win 1 game next year. Nevada is winning 1 game. 2 at the most. How the hell do you see them getting to 3? It'll never happen. So that is my biggest bet. If you guys can find the under on any sports book for Nevada, go put 5 units on it. 5 units on the under for Nevada. I got them winning 1 to 2 games max, not 3. Just being real. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all.